What a weekend for football indeed. Barcelona host Real Madrid and Manchester United host Liverpool. We're going to talk about the latter game here on Let's Talk Tactics. So Manchester United coming off the back of a very impressive 3-0 win against Tottenham, whereas Liverpool are still unbeaten in the Premier League here in 2015. A great run of form that they've put together with coach Brendan Rodgers firmly confident of his team travelling to Manchester. So I want to talk about both teams' tactics. I mean, both of them have definitely reshaped the way they played at the start of the season, and both of them have definitely reaped the rewards of these changes. So first, let's talk about Manchester United and take a look at their last formation against Tottenham. So they had a 4-1-4-1, which looks like it's more like a 4-5-1, and they brought back in Michael Carrick, pushed Blin out to left back, Jones, Smalling and Valencia. In that, they stuck with Fellaini, even though I was looking forward to a Herrera, Mata and Carrick partnership. It did work out well because Fellaini then pushed forward. If you watch here, what happened when they attacked is that Mata, who was playing wide, tucked inside a lot more, and they pushed Fellaini up to be sort of Wayne Rooney's second striker, and Young would push out wide, and it looked like somewhat of a 4-3-3, but with Young sticking to the left-hand side, and it provided so much more space in there. Mata and Herrera linked up well. Mata managed to distribute the ball better to the front men and have Wayne Rooney pick it up in deeper areas, which was just what I wanted when I watched Manchester United. As a neutral fan, I wanted to see them play their best players. They didn't have to play the Di Marias and Falcaos of the world, which I don't want them to play in the next game either, because they looked like a different team against Tottenham. You could tell from the smiles on their faces that they knew what worked well. And I'm not a big fan of using Fellaini, but when the big man comes in here, he causes such a problem, because what he does so well is he drops deep, and in one swift movement he manages to get himself in behind, and for a big guy he's deceptively quick, and he's got a good finish on him, but more often than not he's useful in the box. And with no Falcao in there, Wayne Rooney's still good in the air. What they're doing is they're finding Fellaini's head just to get himself in there, just to use a body. And when they got the ball in from the cross, who was there? Michael Carrick pushed up, and he picked the ball at the edge of the box and put it in the back of the net. But what I want to talk about with Michael Carrick is, unlike Daley Blin, Carrick, who I must state that when I see a defensive midfielder for Manchester United, I wouldn't like them to move amongst this area. But at Old Trafford, they should not be scared of their opponents. And for the first goal, what you see is Michael Carrick picked up the ball against Tottenham, and rather than passing it sideways or back, he took it forward. He took it into space, and he played it through to the on-field runner of Fellaini, who put it in the back of the net, because he trusted his instinct to go forward and not be moving side to side and back the way which Manchester United have been doing. And it's not like you're losing out on a great player of Daley Blind in the middle, because he's good in the middle, but he's even better at left back. I said this during the World Cup. Do you remember his amazing cross for Van Persie for one of the first goals of the tournament, which was outstanding? He's a good left back, and he'll use that experience to kind of usher the rest of his back line along with him. So I think it's a good move to bring Carrick back in, who just signed a new deal. I think that he provides good attacking presence going forward. He's not the best goal scorer. Don't be fooled by his one goal against Tottenham. But what he does well, provides cover, and he knows when to go forward. However, this can be a weakness when we look at Liverpool's formation. So let's switch over and talk about the Scousers and their trip to Manchester. So Liverpool just are in a hot run of form at the moment. They're grinding out results from nowhere, and I think it's down to many things. Mignolet has stepped up in goals. Their back three looks more stable than ever, even when they had the back four in there. Obviously taking out Glenn Johnson's a big factor. Not a big fan of him. But it's the back three of Can, Skirtle and Sacco. They just look like they're all on the same page finally. Their midfield there, as you see, is Lallana, who likes to push forward and sometimes support the attack too much, which may leave them susceptible to wider areas. Moreno, Allen, Henderson, Sterling, Sturridge and Coutinho. But what I want to talk about is when Lallana does push forward, they do what a good team does, is when Lallana pushes up wide areas, instead of Moreno packing up and suddenly they're left with a three at the back in case they get hit on counter-attack, Moreno is a natural left back, so he slots in here and he'll pick up this any loose balls that come into this area, and all of a sudden they have a back four and it turns into a 4-3-3. That's what good teams have to do. That's what Liverpool are doing. That's why they're not conceding as many goals as they did previously. Obviously they've got a better mentality right now, but it's bringing in as well attacking wise. Lallana supports, and what Henderson does is he just sits at the edge of the box, which Manchester United will need to watch out for. I don't think he's the best and most gifted technical footballer, Jordan Henderson, but why has he scored against Burnley? Why has he scored in a recent goal against Swansea, even though it was a bit of a fluke? He's picking up the ball in deep areas, and they're not watching him, because with Joe Allen in there, Allen will hold this position right here. Henderson can just slowly move forward because they're so busy worrying about Sturridge, Sterling and Coutinho, who plays up top, is that Henderson will just slowly wander up, pick up the ball on the edge of the box, and he's got a good strike on him, and he's definitely dangerous. So Carrick will need to make it his job to watch Henderson's oncoming runs. But the reason their attacks change so much is because Sturridge is back. Because he takes defenders deeper. Because when you've got guys like Coutinho and Lallana, they're good at picking out strikers. And what happened against Burnley is the ball was picked up from a deep area. Sturridge peeled off into the back, and he was there, and he's got a great head on him as well. And Manchester United are not the best at tracking runners, and Sturridge will try and test that. And with the likes of Coutinho, who can drop deeper and have a great strike from distance, it's going to be an interesting affair. Both teams seem to be firing on all cylinders at the moment, even though Manchester United's was just one game. It's going to be interesting. I find it really hard to call at this moment. We know that Liverpool's last defeat was to Manchester United, so maybe that might play a factor. I'm going to say 1-1 draw. That's my prediction. 1-1 draw, Manchester United versus Liverpool at Old Trafford. What do you guys think? Comment in the section below. Be sure to subscribe to more tactics talk here on TYT Sports.